In my experience, what they're always looking for is to give you an excuse to walk away, to just be like, you know what, I've tried, but I've had enough now. You have pushed me to the limit. That's the sort of thing kids are going to hear time and time again.
If it wasn't for her support, there would have been no motivation, I don't think, for me or for a lot of people around me at the time. Someone there that was pushing you. Just honest there, consistency there, just being real with you.
I grew up on a small farm in a village in Cornwall, so my experiences of childhood and growing up are really different from the children that I work with. For the past 10 years, I've been working in St Anne's, one of the most deprived inner city areas in the UK.
Yeah, it's difficult from the get-go. There's not much to do outside of school. A child doesn't want to stay indoors all day and they go outside. It's easy to get caught up in that kind of criminal life.
Depending on the actual group of children and individuals, but I mean, it's either college, get a job, or sell drugs, mate, you know what I mean?
Earning the trust of a vulnerable child or young person is essential if you want to have a positive impact in their life. In my experience, it takes having a good, hard look at yourself, your motivation, and how you approach situations. For a lot of people, when they first start working with vulnerable children and young people, it can be quite an intimidating experience. Now, what can happen is the children can pick up on that intimidation and try and use it to gain some sort of leverage and control over the situation. I mean, I can remember there's one boy in particular who had the worst reputation in the youth club for behaviour, and he just came, he sat opposite me, he chatted for a bit, and then literally he got on the table, he stood on the table, he took this massive pot of glitter and just emptied it on my head, like in front of the whole youth club. You feel humiliated. This little kid's kind of put you in this situation where everyone's looking at you, everyone's laughing at you. Maybe where a lot of people slip up is by taking that really personally, like it's personally directed at you. It's not. It's just this is maybe the one time in their life where they feel like they can control a situation. Children's behaviour is often a response to the environment they've grown up in. So if they've grown up in a violent, abusive household, then they might try and use their behaviour to dominate. Equally, they might be very withdrawn, blending into the background and hoping nobody notices them. Both of those examples of behaviours are ways in which they have developed survival mechanisms so that they can survive in the context of what they know at home. It can be really confusing for them if you try and punish them for behaving in that way, because you're punishing them for behaving in a way that makes them feel safe and in control of a situation. If a child has to choose between being punished and behaving in a way that makes them feel safe and secure, they're always going to choose to feel safe and secure. Empower them to choose a more appropriate way of behaving.
Gus, I can see you're concentrating, but can you just watch me for 1 minute?
When the negative behaviour comes, try not to make it about the whole child. Try and give positive with the negative back. Tell them about the stuff that you really do enjoy about them, that people like about them.
Okay, do you want to really, really carefully put the candle in there?
Try and look at each of these situations as an opportunity for enabling these children to build new positive identities for themselves, so that they can confirm these new identities through positive behaviour.
I can help him light it, or I can help him put him in.
Right, do you want to put this one in this little window here?
I just think she's just always there. I think that's the main key. She's consistent. She's always there. You need any help, she's there.
Working with children and young people who experience social exclusion, they'll be coming in looking for reasons not to trust that teacher, because that's their experience of adults. Okay, it's a string of broken promises. It's a string of incidents where you're watching your back. It's a string of incidents of no consistency. So someone might be trustworthy one day, but the next they're not. So you have to, it's a survival thing. You have to watch your back. It's being in a state of constant alert, constantly just watching for that chink, that thing of there, I told you I couldn't trust them. I told you I couldn't 100% rely on them. I think to break down and get past that, if you say you're going to do something, no matter how simple it is, do it. If you think there's a chance you might not remember to do the thing you said you would for that child, don't promise it. In my experience, what eventually that leads to is that young person knowing that you mean what you say. Like, you're not going to keep changing your mind. You're not going to say one thing one day and one thing the next day. And they learn that they can rely on you. And over time, over time, all sorts of amazing things can come from that, because you end up being one of the few adults in their lives ever that's stuck with them, and they know what they're getting from you.
But she's always there for you, no matter what. I trust her a lot. I trust her like my own family. We have a laugh and joke talk for hours. It's nice. She earned that trust by helping me, being there with me through it all. I got into a little bit of trouble because I had some problems at home, so I got into trouble with the police, caught her selling drugs and things. She's got in contact with me like 2 days afterwards, a day afterwards, straight away. She ended up helping me get a job. Nah, I became a chef from it, like, that was 2 years ago. It was like I was meant to do it. Like, always when I was a kid, I loved food. I run the starters, make sure everything's set, which is perfect. I'm happy. I want to cook some food. Making Susie a nice carrot soup.
I'd probably be in prison if it wasn't for Susie, and I'm sure about 100 other people would have been as well. But what I'm doing now, I'm a youth worker. I've just done a 2-year apprenticeship with Susie, so I passed my A-levels now basically, and I've been accepted for university, and hopefully I should be in uni in September.
My dreams as of now for the near future are to be accepted to uni, get through my youth and community studies with a degree. The long-term life goal would be to create a number of projects all around the country. The world is an optimistic one. I love it. There's nothing better, really. You know? If you're there for somebody, and then you can see that this young person really appreciates what you're doing, it touches your heart.